Well, but the point is that the Cordillera people, and even and my grandfather said this, even the Iboloy were not sympathetic to the revolution
Yes.
because those
Yes.
people from the lowlands came up to the mountains and treated them just as badly as the Spanish treated them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We were kind of talking about that actually.
So that kind of opened up also kind of like a little bit more, I mean, a little bit more openness to seeing Americans come in some ways. I mean, you look at
Yeah,
how they came into Baguio, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's like the summer capital.
yeah. Well, the Buffalo Soldiers gave the people their candy. they were they took a smarter approach. In general, the Americans took a smarter approach. The Spanish approach was always confrontational. The big confrontational was over tobacco. The Spanish wanted a tobacco monopoly to make money, and the Cordillera people would not go along with it. They grew their tobacco and they sold it as contraband. And the Spanish kept trying to, they burn villages, to try to make them stop, but it kept going. But what the Americans did was when they came, they negotiated with all these tribal people. They realized that they were open to negotiation and
their
open to
influence.
presence.
Yeah, their
Mm,
influence with their interactions with the Indians, Indian tribes. Because there were
Yeah.
also Texas Rangers that were sent up to the Cordilleras. Were they not? Were they not? I remember reading that somewhere, but I could be wrong.
Texas Rangers. That I don't know. I mean, they came from all over, the American soldiers. They were all volunteer army, but
Right.
they're very possible Texas Rangers. Now, what happened after is when the American soldiers, when the Philippine American War was over, and the American soldiers found out that there was gold in Benguet, they started going there. They started drifting over there, trying to figure out where the gold is. A lot of them were cowboys, and that's where the cowboy culture came into Benguet. There were already essentially cowboys in Benguet. They were called the pastol. The pastol were the people who took charge of the cattle. Cattle was the main source of wealth for the Baknang of Benguet, the Cariños and those people. And the
Oh.
pastol, they say, were the illegitimate children of the Baknang, whom they could not claim as their own, but didn't want them to be, poor camote farmers. So they made them cowboys. And then, so they were already cowboys. They rode horses, and then it's just a matter of the Americans coming in with their cowboy culture. And now there's a cowboy culture, at least in Baguio. There are cowboy bars, cowboy boots, country western songs, and stuff like
oh, even the way the folks walk is like as if you had a horse.
that.
The kind of like the gait of people, the way they walk, it
Oh,
has that thing to it, and our love for country music. Oh my gosh, uh,
yeah,
that that
Yeah.
that's from the Americans. And the Americans and what a lot of those soldiers did was they married Igorot women so that they could lay claim to the gold, to the
I
mines.
see. I see. All
But
tactic.
what Wooster
Yeah.
did, he saw that was happening, and my grandfather did too early on. He saw the discharged American soldiers start drifting up, and he was worried that those American soldiers would set up their own country in Benguet and control the resources. So they created a government, Acts 48 and 49, the Philippine Commission uh, created a government for Benguet so that they could control their American soldiers.
Oh, so that's what initiated it?
Yeah, that's what the speed was. They got it done in a month uh,
Wow.
oh
Wow.
wow,
because they thought if they waited, the American soldiers would just establish. They'd marry Igorot women, establish themselves in there, and start mining the gold.
So it was really it was kind of cowboy in the sense that it was just so like anybody could run the show at any moment.
Yeah, yeah. There was.
and so
Well,
that
the Americans had controlled Benguet, so
yeah, so it's kind of like the way California became a state once they found that gold there, and within less than a year, all of a sudden there's a U.S. government here.
that's right. The Mexicans were out.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right. Well,
Californians.
I mean, they learn from their history. They know their history, and they
Yeah,
do their
yeah.
research.
Yeah, who knows, man? Some of those American soldiers may have been the descendants of the 49ers that came to
That's
San
very
Francisco
interesting.
gold rush. Yeah,
Wow.
they
Wow.
knew what they were doing. So but there's very little of that American left. I think the American colonial government controlled those soldiers pretty well. It's not like there are a whole bunch of mestizos with American names running around Benguet. Some maybe, but not a lot.